you full of beryllium baloney!
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the GigaPower Gigasaur's Grassor, the HQ-02R Chrome version. Their take on a G1 slag. Now, I did get this at Show Z. I'll link a link down below where you can get yours. This is a great G1 representation of a Dinobot slag from a G1-esque type of a little bit stylized. This is a reissue. They did leave a few things out to keep the price low. No, they're not jacking the price up like some other companies, but we're going to talk all about this coming up. So here we go with the box, and it looks just like all the other GigaPower boxes. Same typical type of artwork going on right there, and going over to the side here. There it is. Here it is on the back. Now this can show you kind of what's in the box, and so you're going to see that's what it comes with. And then light up swords and all that good stuff. Yeah, pretty good packaging. So here he is in all of his greatness. This is Grassor looking good. This thing has a lot of shine to it, quite a great sheen, and it definitely has a presence size on the shelf. So his face looks really good. It's kind of simple, yet it works. It just works great, and there's a lot of shininess and reflectiveness going on right there. And it's really going to be hard not to have a lot of reflectiveness. He also has a second head sculpt, and so here's one difference. They took the electronics out of the heads, and they reduced a couple of the things. Like, they did have a bunch of swappable face plates and stuff, so that stuff's gone right there. And I haven't opened these up. I think you might still be able to swap the faces out with the heads, but it's an improved or changed head sculpt. If you view it as an improvement, then there it is. Going down, we have some paint apps all over right here. Chrome, red chrome, gold chrome, all over this thing. On top of it, there are more paints, like the black right there. We have some silver on all of the detailing right there. There's quite a bit of line work, and maybe a little more line work than I would normally like, but I still think it looks great, and I think it works really well with these Dinobots. And I'm always scared of these hip flaps of chipping the chrome off of those, but they also made a metallic version. And this is just bare plastic, which it should be. It needs to be. And his knee kind of, this joint here, you got to be careful for it. It does kind of give real easy. Probably not as tight as it should be. I do like how they have the clear plastic, and you see the painted internal areas there. That looks really good. And then down here we do have some fillers for that. We're going to get to that here in a little while. And then the toes, nice and gold. And so this is just an excellent looking figure. Really stable. Like, I could just pick it up and put it down anywhere, and that's another thing I really like about this. Just really stable, and every joint is good except for the knee there, but the way he stands is not really a problem. From the back, he does look a bit kibbly, but it is the Dinobot design, and they are sticking with the Dinobot design. I've already got a few scratches. That's kind of disappointing, but it's going to have the kibble. I mean, there's really no way around it. I'm sure you could super ultra engineer a way around it, but they did include a lot of that in the animation anyway, so that's not a big deal, and it still has some cartoon accuracy. There is this back here, so you're not going to see that in any other mode, so that's on his back and stuff. So really an overall great looking figure, well painted, even down to like adding some plastic translucent on the side there, homages to the toy, homages to the cartoon. Let's look at these accessories. So we've already taken a look at the head, painted really well. We do have a lot of these smoke accessories for the tail, another section of the tail, and the head. Homage to toy yet again. We also have these internal leg fillers for another toy homage that we're going to show here in a little while. And then we also have this here. This is guns that will clip on to the robot mode in the back. So really some cool additions for some accessories, but the main two accessories he's holding right now. So he does have this great sword, and it does light up, and it uses like a 1025 CR1025 battery. I don't have those, and if I did have them, I'm using them in all my other GigaPowers right now, and I thought about maybe I should open up, and yes, you have to split the weapon in half more or less, or the handle on the sword in half to open them up to get them to work. But there's a little button right here on the back that lights it all up, and I'll show you the light up features from the other ones. Since they're pretty much the same thing, and I really don't like opening up the weapons the way they make you do it, but it's what they make you do, and it works if you have the right size battery in it, but that's kind of the effect that you're going to get if you go that route. So getting into his articulation here, his head, it will move side to side, and then up and down a little bit down, and then over to his shoulders. Now his shoulders don't go very far. Well, they do go very far out, almost to the 90, which is great. And then you are going to be limited by the back wing there. You do have bicep swivel. You do have quite a bit of articulation on the hand here, and you have 1, 2, 3 points on each finger and an opposable thumb with 1, 2 points of articulation on that thumb right there. And then getting down, you have a waist swivel, but not really an ab crunch. And then with the leg, you can get it back that far, and then you can get it all the way to the front, well, that far. And then you have your universal right here, and with these pieces on the back touching, it's going to be, you really don't want too much of that articulation. You do have your knee to an almost 90 at the knee, and you could do some other like strange awkward poses with this internal knee joint, but to me it's more of a hindrance than a help. And then down here we really just get toe articulation in pretty much all directions. The whole foot isn't going to be articulated because of the way it's designed, but that's just the way it's designed.
Me Grimlock say you full of cesium salami.
So getting into comparisons, what I think is the most important part when you're trying to decide, is this the figure for my collection? So with this is Scoria over here. And I'm not going to turn this entire video into a versus Scoria video, because other people have done that. That's not what I'm doing here. But I think this is the biggest, most important comparison. Also on this side, I'm going to have a picture of the Perfect Fusion Cesium. And I think that Fans Toys did the Perfect Fusion Cesium in response to GigaPower making these figures. And more or less, they were going to redo all theirs in 2.0 is what my thought was. And they were like, why bother? People are buying our old modes anyway, so why should we go through all that trouble? And that's what I think's going on here. But side by side, I think this is much better than Scoria. But in Fans Toys' defense, Scoria is one of the really early figures. And I didn't like all the early figures. I did not like their Shockwave. And when they made Scoria, I said, why bother? Because Takara's going to make it. But I was wrong on that one. So I'm happy to have had a representation for a while. But I'm upgrading to a cheaper figure. A lower price point figure is an upgrade in my opinion. What do you guys think? So here he is with some of his other buddies and pals. So these are all GigaPower except for this guy here is the Reximus Prime. Yeah, right here. Reximus Prime. That Grimlock is just KO oversize. And so it's not the GigaPower one. I probably should upgrade to the GigaPower one, but I thought this one still looked pretty good size-wise and everything. But now when you look at the finish, the KO oversize, the Reximus Prime, doesn't have the right finish. I know they made a shiny one, but I think I might have to go 100% GigaPower and make this team look great. Here's how they look with Optimus Prime in there, and this is the KO version of the MP44 and the Silver Leg one, and I've chosen the Silver Leg one because these guys have so much silver on them. I figure that would kind of fit in right. So we're going to sort of get into the transformation a little bit with these legs. So we're going to pan down here, and we're going to take a look at the legs and inserting these leg fillers. So we're going to grab this guy here and not knock the camera over. We need to tilt that just a bit. We're going to open this up and then open this out, and let's move to the inside here. And let me take the weapons off. So from the inside, we're going to be opening this up, and then we're going to fold this out right here on this ball joint, and then we can close this back up, do that tilt method, and then we're going to, and I just be mindful not to scratch your chrome against your chrome. So you're going to pick the one that fits in here, and it shows the good stuff, you know. So is this the right one? Yeah, this is the right one. And then that closes down a bit. Now there should be some sort of this retaining tab folded out. Tab this in, then there's two tabs that tab into those two holes. And there it is for the internal leg filler. And with that, we're going to have this lower leg here. We can position it to look sort of G1-esque if we want to. And let's get the other side done. And it's a very simple process, more or less. I'm just worried. I did that other one off camera. I'm really worried about scratching the chrome. I think that's a big problem with this figure because it has so much chrome. You could scratch the chrome. But let me show you why they went through this trouble. So they more or less did it for the G1. This is compared to the G1. And yeah, that's fun. If you want to display it like that, I do like the sleeker look. And because I'm trying to fit all these in my display, I definitely want it as sleek looking. But I also would not want those pieces in my way in my display. But if you got plenty of space and you like this look, they gave you that for the option. Alright, so let's transform this up the rest of the way. We're going to open this up and styrofoam everywhere. Fold the head in. Lift that back a bit. And then this will tab into here, which is kind of paint against paint. And we're going to go ahead and do the hands while we're at it. And the hands are always pretty simple, but just got to get them folded up pretty good so that they fold in there just fine. Fold the fist this way. Alright, so let's open this up. Fold the fist in all of the way. And then close that one up. Same thing on the other side. So I do feel like these are loose in one way, the hands, and tight in the other. And I didn't really talk about it, but the fingers do splay. So that's a good point there. And they feel like KFC hands, but they also feel like a little stronger than what KFC did with their hands. But they have like all the same articulation. And here we go. That part is done. Now, at this point, we could go ahead and just pull all of this stuff out. You can wait till the end and do it, or you can do it right now. It's really not that big of a deal. But you got the gun and the jaw and all that. Tuck it up in there for a second. All right, so we need to flip around the waist piece, going backwards there, and start setting up the legs. So do one at a time. We got to do the same thing we did before where we flip this open, that tab open. I'm going to open this thing back up. But before you open it, you have to pull this filler out and pull that filler out to pull the big filler out because it tabs all that together. And so I'm not really sure if you could leave those in the Dino mode, so I'm just not going to mess with that. But it might be an option right there. Okay. So with this, we do need to kind of adjust this piece out so it matches, and that piece is going to match. Alright, so with this, we are going to twist this around, and then we are going to fold this in on itself. You need to make sure that we have this piece out like so, and we're folding it in. Make sure that that's straight as we go. And that's folded in, and then this, push the arm up a bit, this piece will come down into its place. Move these out of the way here. Now there's it's kind of a hinge right here, so it's going to hinge right into place on that. And we can go ahead and fold this leg down, get the tail situated right here. Oh, come on. The tail's on a double hinge. You want to move it like so. And then while we're here with the tail, we can lift out the tip of the tail by pulling on this little tab to get it out without scraping up any of that. And then it's interesting because you do rotate it as you pull it out, so you have a flat surface here and then the flat surface on the inside also. So that really works too. So right here, we're going to use this double joint here to rock it into place. And let's work on the other side for just a bit. Same thing that we did before. So lift this out, pull this up, go over here to push down on that, and we're going to pull the filler piece out. Filler piece. Get that out of the way. Open this up. Flip this around. And then fold it like so. And we are getting closer and closer to getting it lined up. The tail, I guess we're right here. We can go ahead and do this tail. Always worried about chipping this chrome. It's beautiful, beautiful chrome. Then we're going to double hinge this down in there. And then we still have to make sure everything is lined up as we're doing this. Got that folded down. This part here, make sure it's lined up just right. And then we're going to double hinge this. Now that he's a little smaller and foam's still falling out of it, we're going to double hinge this into place. And tab it together. It's coming along. And it's actually a pretty simple transformation. Once everything's in place, it all just sort of tabs together. And then we're going to sort out the legs here. Down here, we need to open the legs down. Pull this leg out. We need to fold down this flap right here, and we need to get the toe out right here without messing up this beautiful chrome. And yes, this is like a silver chrome, not a gold chrome. And flip around to the other side and just doing the rest of what we just did over there on this side. And he's going to start holding himself up now. The hardest part I'm finding is pulling the leg out. It seems kind of tough. So you got to get this flap down angled like this, and it just makes it a little easier to pull this down. And then you close the flap the rest of the way. Then you get back to the foot. Bringing the foot out. With this tail piece, it's kind of strange. You have to wiggle it down, and you have to connect it separately, which I was thinking you could connect it at the same time, but wiggle it down into place and then connect it to the lower section down here. Maybe we can see that better on the inside before you close everything up, or else it won't connect the tail. So that's kind of an issue right there. And then all you gotta do is go around and close them all up. So we've got tabs all through here. You can see that. So we're gonna close all them up right through here. The tail itself, tab this in. It's got a really strong tab on the tip of the tail. So we gotta get all that lined up and tabbed in. I think he likes to move around a lot. But it's got a really strong tab at the tip. And then the bottom, we got these tabs right here. So we're gonna have to line those up and get them tabbed in. And we're pretty much done. Just gonna go around and make sure I got everything tabbed in just right, and then we'll have a look at them. Alright, so here he is all transformed up into his Dino mode, and he just looks fantastic. It's so shiny and chrome, you can see fingerprints on it, which is interesting. Kind of strange that these pieces here that are kind of, I guess they're heel spurs at first, then they're on the back there, so they're not chrome. So that's kind of strange right now that those pieces aren't chrome. But I'm sure they've got their reasons that they didn't chrome it. Again, be very careful not to chip anything on this is super shiny, looks fantastic. Getting down here with his mouth, I already had it open, but it does quite a bit. He has quite a bit of articulation with that mouth of his, and then shoot his gun. Now you don't get the flames, so the flames aren't included in this. They used to be able to shoot some flames out of his mouth with the first release. I don't know how many of the releases, but you don't get it with this release, so that's a thing. We do have some detail that, although it's in the bot mode, it's on the wings on the back, and so you really don't see it, but you have all this painted detail right here, and then some of the paint kind of carries through with the red right there, and then that is the shoulder in the bot mode. We do get 2 of these transparent shoulders here, and one of which you can actually plug these in, so I don't know what millimeter port. It feels like a 5mm port. Looks like a 5mm port, but is it a 5mm port? We'll just get this plugged in here. That does not look easy. There we go. I mean, it looks easy, but not as easy as it looks. All right, now moving around to the back, this tail is beautiful as chrome, and part of the reason the tail is kind of fiddly and weird is so you have some articulation in it, and that's just kind of a thing that they do. Now, the tip itself doesn't have much articulation, so it's really just this point. I mean, it looks like it should, but it doesn't really, and we're going to look at that a little bit more when we add the armor pieces to it. And then, same on this side, just looking really good. Let's go ahead and get this armored up right here on this side. Also, kind of have that look going about it. Looks really cool. Those cannons, that thing just looks like a massive beast right here. And you do get some articulation in these pieces here, so you can do whatever you want with it. The head does the head does move up and down and around a little bit, so it's got some articulation there. This is super duper shiny. It's just outstanding. Just outstanding how shiny it is. And he's beautiful. Why is this Dino mode so important? Because I think there's a 50-50 split in the community, and it may even be 60-40, Dino to bot. Most people keep it in Dino mode, it seems like, because when I look at displays, I see the vast majority of them in the Dino mode. So, well, let's see. We can clip this piece here on, make it kind of a toy-esque, accurate kind of thing. We can also do the same thing with the tail. So we got these 2 tail pieces, and it's one's for one side, one's for the other. Got to follow the contour. Which is which? Like so. There we go. That, and then we also have. So this is showing you they really didn't intend any real articulation in that piece. So, and then we have these pieces here. Goes on like so. And then this one goes on like that. And we have a toy accurate-esque version. Okay, so here he is next to the toy. This is the original G1 toy, and they're paying homage to it. As you can see, the toy has kind of that plastic cover to it over the gold chrome underneath. So it does have that toy homage, which is really cool, and especially if you store them or display them in this mode, it's a whole lot of fun. I wonder if they're going to do any G2 or recolors. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen the G2 recolors yet. We saw it from Fans Toys, but we haven't seen it yet from GigaPower. So here we are with Grassor and the Gutter side by side. Gutter, Grassor. And I think they look fantastic together. In the Dino mode, if that's the mode that you want, and that's the mode you're in for, these look great in that mode. If you're in for the bot mode, they look great in bot mode too. But I still stand by people like the Dino mode the most. Here he is next to MP44 KO and Hot Rod, and you can kind of see how big he is. He's huge. He's massive. Bigger than a semi-truck. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the Gigasaur Grassor HQ-02R, R standing for Chrome, I believe, not CH or CR, but it's an R. And this is an excellent version, and I do like this better than Scoria. I liked it better than Fans Toys. This is going to be my slag, and I think he looks great. I think he looks fantastic. There's a lot of bling to him. I do like the bling. Trying not to get a glare on the camera is a challenge with something so shiny. But I'd like to know what you think in the comments below. Are you in on this? If you want to get this, well, they're selling through really fast at Show Z, so Show Z might be selling out. I'm going to have a link down below for you, but you can also check out, they have 3 other Gigasaur figures either in stock or pre-order, but these figures are in high demand right now because they are so good, and they might be hard to get coming up. So I've pre-ordered them, and I'm probably going to get the very last one to complete the set. So let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.
I really am baloney! Who say that?